Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Every day I get questions asking me to do things I've already done. And almost every question asked of me every single day is covered in my book. Like this person asking me to do Hurricane Harvey. Again, I did Hurricane Harvey and its flooding before it even actually happened. I called out the exact date it would happen, and we'll get to why. Do a web search for my name, you guys. Articles have been written about me, including this one. This is by Vice News. This is the headline. Wacko YouTuber proves World Series was rigged. A YouTuber has crunched all the numbers and shows exactly how the World Series was scripted to have Houston win. Spot the lie. So I don't know what they're saying about spot the lie because everything I said was dead on. But here we go. So they linked the video and it says, what you are watching above is 8 minutes and 33 seconds. And if that's really how long the video is, I didn't intend it, but I think they had to emphasize that just to put it out there. 8 minutes and 33 seconds of commentary that intends to prove that the World Series and all sports really was rigged. Well, since I had predicted what day Houston would flood, and right after that predicted why the Astros would defeat the Dodgers in the World Series, I'd say I was pretty damn correct. And not to mention I'd already called about a million things right in the world from sports to news before this. But anyway, commentary that intends to prove that the World Series and all sports really was rigged. It involves Matt Harvey, who became the first pitcher to pitch in Houston after the flooding of Harvey. It involves Matt Harvey, Hurricane Harvey, Sports Illustrated, Gematria, an alphanumeric cipher that assigns a numeric value to words and phrases, and Charlie Morton's pitch count. The video comes courtesy of a guy named Zachary K. Hubbard, and he is convinced that everything is rigged. News, politics, the weather, sports, everything. Just for the record, I don't think everything is rigged, but I think everything in the mainstream media from the feds is, and it is, I've proven that. Getting down to the brass tacks, Hubbard posts that the Astros World Series victory was foretold by Matt Harvey's start in Houston, which just so happened to be the first start after the Houston area was devastated by Hurricane Harvey. That start, coincidentally, was 52 days before the start of the World Series. Hold on to your butts, because we've only just scratched the surface. And again, 52. The word flood is 52. The word hurricane's 52. The word earth is 52. Houston flooded August 27th, 17. The reason I was able to call that date out days before it happened was because it was a date with 52 numerology, plus it was the 239th day of the year, which is the 52nd prime number. So it had 252 connections that date. And for years, I'd been talking about flooding in 52. I'd been talking about it since 2014. We'd already documented so many occurrences, so it was easy to see that this is where this was going. And the number 239, that's a big number in the Torah, which is the part of the Bible of the historical flood. Okay, so then his article goes on, and he quotes me here. The reason that matters, he's talking about 52, the reason that matters is because the word flood in Gematria equals 52. Houston flooded on a date with 52 numerology on August 27th, which was the 239th day, which is the 52nd prime number. It was 27 years to the day of the death of Stevie Ray Vaughan, who was remembered for the album Texas Flood. Think about it. And he mocks it like it's stupid. But yeah, think about it. Stevie Ray Vaughan, very talented musician, dies in a suspicious helicopter crash. Have you heard this one before? In light of these numbers and some other extremely reasonable stuff about the government causing flash floods by doing chemistry in the sky, which is admitted to for decades, and Charlie Morton recording the final out of Game 7 on his 52nd pitch, which is exactly how sports works. I call out the numbers that it's rigged around, and we see them documented again and again and again and again and again. And since this article was written, we've done it about 1,000 more times. It's pretty obvious that baseball is no different than pro wrestling, and that is a fact. But it's not just the games themselves that are rigged. Even things like managerial firings are all part of the equation. Now, you might be wondering how something like firing the manager can be rigged, and I gotta tell you, that is a very fair question. Nevertheless, here's a video about how the fix was in for Joe Girardi. So he links this video, he makes fun of it. The whole video is about New York in '39. Who do the Yankees hire to replace Joe Girardi after I make this video? They hire Aaron Boone. And what's Aaron Boone's birthday? It's March 9th, 3-9. New York 39, NY 39, NYC 39, Empire 39, and about a million other things. New York was established on a 39 date numerology. So he makes fun of this video where I point out the giant 39 ritual, talking about how 39 is always the number in New York. Well, about a week after that article was written, they hired Aaron Boone born on March 9th. Was there a follow-up article saying anything? Of course there wasn't. Again, this is a perfect example of how all of the world of professional sports is scripted by a numerological code. What is true of Joe Girardi's firing today is, he's quoting me again, is true of every single thing that happens in the world of professional sports. Girardi, Hubbard tells us, was fired on October 26th, which is the 299th day of the year, leaving just 66 days left in the year. We all know where this one is going. Using Gematria and whatever else he can find to get something to 66, Hubbard says that Girardi gets a value of 66. Just notice the way it's written. Using Gematria and whatever else. I didn't need to do whatever else. Just Girardi is 66. He's fired on the day, leaving 66 days left in the year. 66 is the 11th triangular number. New York's the 11th state. Again, it's ritual. Hubbard says that Girardi gets a value of 66 using alphabetic order, and Joe Girardi also gets 66 with the reduction method, the alphabetic order and rules numerology, the two most pure ciphers that I learned about in a book written by the Freemason Manly P. Hall, who gave us a little bit of information. He gave you the knowledge, and he said, go out and try it and see what you find. I took that advice, found way more than I thought I would. And then he writes, which sounds totally above board. Again, I can see this guy's nose poking through the computer screen. There is also a fairly sizable detour in the video where we learn that the Jews did 9/11 and people who make fun of him are dumb, ignorant motherfuckers. Well, can I say that, YouTube? YouTube's run by the you-know-whos. Am I going to get censored for reading the article written about me? I stand by those words. Dancing Israelis in Israel, sent back to Israel, who went on TV and said they were there to document the attack. We followed Ehud Barak, the leader of Israel's directions on 9/11, to attack Afghanistan and Iraq and declare a war on terrorism. If I just said the leader of Iraq, I meant to say the leader of Israel, Ehud Barak. Again, you got to be blind to not see what's going on. Tisha B'Av equals 9/11, the Jewish day to remember the destruction of the two temples. Anyway, back to the main and unassailable point we started with, which is that the World Series was rigged because of Charlie Morton threw 52 pitches. Well, that was never the point that was made. The point that was made was why the Astros would beat the Dodgers, which I predicted at the end of August. Beginning of September, I was very emphatic about this, why the Astros would beat the Dodgers. LA was burning, Houston was flooded, water puts out fires. Again, the whole ritual was perfectly synced. I talked about the number 52 a million times. And the World Series ended with the 52nd pitch of Charlie Morton. Go back and watch the highlight. No professional batter would ever swing at that pitch. He had plenty of account to work with. It was obvious his job was to ground out with his little shitty half-ass swing to end the World Series right there with another 52 ritual. For anyone who doubts this stuff, again, it's because you're dumb. It's very easy to see that this is what's going on. I'm someone with a brain and who is an athlete. You know, I can see when a batter takes a half-ass swing that doesn't make any sense. Little weak ground out to the second baseman to end the World Series. No need to swing at that pitch with the count he had. 52 was the number, called it. The World Series ended with it. And I'll just show you something, how also they picked out this guy. Probably a you-know-who that changed his name just for the article. But the whole article's about 52. Look at what this guy's name equals. 52. See it? See the 38 in there? You had to do the thing, take the stab about how I brought up the truth about 9/11. So, again, Gematria. Most pure ciphers are the alphabetic order and alphabetic order with the rules numerology. Floods 52. Earth is 52, hurricanes 52. You just pay attention when hurricane season comes around. You watch how many of these storms flood communities on the date with the 52 numerology. You just watch. That's how I've been able to correctly predict over the years. Okay, this storm's coming. Look, here's the 52 date coming up. Just watch again and again. If I remember right, it was the Astros' 56th season when they won the World Series too. Here, Astros baseball reference. Let's see. They won it in 2017. So last year was their 58th season. The year before that was their 50. So yeah, it was Houston's 56th season. This coming year will end up being their 59th season. So they won the World Series in their 56th season, the year of the hurricane. And again, that's why you got to know the ciphers, forwards and backwards, to see the totality of the rituals. Matt Harvey pitches 52 days before Game 1 of the World Series, the first pitcher in Houston after the flooding of Hurricane Harvey. Yeah, there's more to explain about that, but we'll save it for another time. So, again, all of you guys who ask me to cover things that I've already covered and you don't support the book, really, you're wasting my time. Me, had they read my book, they could have left a comment about, oh, Zach, I read your book, it's awesome, and I liked how when you covered Hurricane Harvey and all this. Too bad I wasn't here then. Could have won some more cash off your knowledge. Again, all of you guys who don't have a dollar to support this movement, you're the reason that this stuff hasn't gone viral, because I can't do it in this information age where all these tech companies are geared against me. It's going to take resources. It's going to take pounding the pavement. It's going to take a team of people. It's going to take an advertising campaign. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. Budget $1 a month. Subscribe to the Patreon for $1. Get the revenue up so I can hire the team of people. It needs to happen. We're on the cusp. Until next time.